Welcome to Vintage Gaming Memories. Shall we play a game?
Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. I appreciate all of you taking time to watch this. I hope you'll find this interesting and or entertaining. So what's in here is a handheld game that was purchased with another item from the same seller that was shipped together in this box. I did a video on the other item, which was the N-Tech Super Cobra. Check that out if you have a chance. I think it's probably a top 3 handheld game that I own, and the condition that it was in was just unbelievably close to mint as anything. All right, let's get this one out of the box and let's check it out. Here it is. This is a 1981 Bandai Electronics Packri Monster handheld game. Now the name alone is enough of a hint to make one think of Pac-Man, and you'd be right. This is another one of the many Pac-Man clones that came out in the 1980s. Bandai Electronics had a few different box designs from this one. It all depends on which country it was made available to. As seen here, the French version called it Pac-Monster, and this was also licensed out to Tandy, which they called it Hungry Monster in the United States, but also named it Ogre Eater and Gobble Man. Now I don't think I'm going to try to collect the same game 4 different ways just because of the naming of it. So consider this one here one and done on this channel. Now let's check this box out before we open it up. You can see it was at one time listed at $49.97, it looks like. I do like that I have a box for this one as well, which is kind of cool to see how this was advertised. Gobble or Be Gobbled kind of reminds you of how the naming perhaps got from Tandy with the name of Gobble Man. And let's see the back side here. A familiar maze, sort of, but the concept is pretty much what you think. It's Pac-Man. All right, well, we know it's 1981. Copyright, as I mentioned, advertisements is that it's got a bright fluorescent readout and real arcade action and sound. So let's open this up and check it out. Always love these flyers that comes with this or advertisements. Just kind of cool to see what they were pushing out back in the day. So here's Bandai Electronics Arcade. Other gaming systems that they had, the handheld games that is. I do have a few of these. I do like their Gunfighter game, and Galaxian, and Blackout actually. And some more in the back here. LCD games, I don't really have many of those. I may have to look into that. So that's kind of cool. And here we go with the instructions. We'll take a close look at this to see if there's anything outside the norm from Pac-Man, other than the actual naming stuff. I love how they reference Monster and Bogey. So obviously the Bogies will be the Ghost, and Packri is Pac-Man. And let's look at the game itself. Here it is. Great condition. From what I recall in the listing, the photos look really good, and they definitely look good in person. It does take 4 AA batteries. Let's see how the battery compartment looks. Looks very nice. And I always love that joystick controller. I love that. What I'm going to do first here is just give it a wipe down and a little bit of a polish, and then we'll come right back. We'll talk about the functions that are on the game itself, and then we'll talk about the actual gameplay. And we'll play a few games as well. Be right back. Alright, just want to show you where I'm at with this cleanup on this Packri Monster. So I did do the polish. First I did the cleaning of using Lysol this time, with very little bleach, as I always say, so you know it's not taking away the finish or anything like that. Then I went ahead and used some polishing, which was the Novus 1 product, and it looked great. The only problem is with the battery compartment. It looks clean, but as I open it up and put it down for a second, stuff came out, which you couldn't tell where it was coming from. Tap it a little bit more, and then we have like this dandruff everywhere. So something is going on inside, and I don't know what it is, so I have to open this up, because if I tap on this, more of the stuff is flaking everywhere. Could be just foam. I'm not sure what it is. No, it's not foam. It comes apart pretty easily. So we got to open this up and see what's happening inside here. It might just be, could be just the speaker foam around it. I don't know. We'll take a look. There's only, 6 screws to remove. So let's open this up and see what's going on. All right, I have the screws removed, and just to give you an idea of how much of this stuff is coming out, I have this stuff stuck on the back side of this tape here. You can see. But let's take a look to see where this origin of this stuff is coming from inside. Let's see, we'll do it from the back side. Actually, we'll do it from the top side down. Oh, look at all that stuff coming out. All right. A lot of this stuff here, a bunch of stuff. Yep, and that's just what I thought. It was that foam that's all around there. It's kind of just deteriorating, and it's becoming a mess. So we're going to clean that up before I put this together. Here's the foam I'm talking about. It's just become, wow, it just dissolves in your hand. Let me just give you an idea what it looks like. I don't even know if I can pick it up without it dissolving in my hand. So here it is. Look at that. It came right apart in my tweezers. So that is what was everywhere. This was really foam, but because it's so old, if I just press down it, it just becomes dust. Check this out. Look at that. Pretty crazy, huh? So we got to clean this up because there's a lot of that inside here, and we might as well get it all nice and clean since we have it open. So I continued taking some more pieces apart. I took the actual cover over the display here, and you can see how dusty up it is as well. So I'm kind of happy I did get that nice and cleaned up. But there's some more of that foam here. I mean, I can't even grab it if I wanted to. I have to just tilt it out. There we go. We got the big pieces out. I think we have pretty much all of it. Maybe. Just to make sure there's no more in here, I'll probably shoot some air in between the board here to make sure nothing's left. And do I really need to do that? Well, probably not, but does it hurt? No, but it's a pain because the stuff will start falling out every time I open up the battery compartment. Or maybe if I just turn it upside down, all this comes out. This is just not necessary to be left in there. Got to get rid of that. I'm going to shoot some air inside of here, clean it down, vacuum it maybe a little bit more, and then we'll clean the insides as well with the polish cleaner I have, and then we'll put it all back together again. All right, let's push some air through this and see what comes out. Look at that. That thing just shot right out. Another thing. All foam. More. Oh, check that out. That was a big one. Let's check this out again. You can see there's some density to it, or at least thickness. But if you just press down on it, it just crumbles away. So, anyways, enough of that. All right, so the VFD is cleaned up as well as the cover over that, and everything else on the board has been cleaned. dusted, polished. The plastic was polished all around, and this is ready to go. I'm not even going to test it yet. I'm going to feel 100% confident it will work after I put everything back together. Here is the cover, or the top of it, which I cannot turn it over because these little switches here will fall right out, as well as the joystick. It just sits in this little cradle. So that would mean that the bottom will have to come on top, and then I will secure it like that. So I'm going to put this, I'm going to try to marry these two up while I'm holding it in my hands, and then we'll screw it together. Just like that. And I just turn it like this, line it up, and there we go. Just have to screw it down, but before I do that, I want to make sure everything's in place. So here's the on-off switch, the start button. Everything looks good. We'll screw this back together, and we'll check it out. All right, everything's been put back together again, and it looks great so far. Just to give you a little glimpse of how the polishing came out. Look at that. It looks nice. That glare on the side of view of the display with no blemish looks really good. And again, on the back side, looks awesome. Nothing's coming out from the battery compartment. Oh, and by the way, these screws here are not your Phillips or your cross screws or a regular screw. Flathead screwdriver wouldn't remove. These are actually 6-pointed ones, which a torque screw probably could get them out, but I have a triangular screwdriver set, which looks like, let me show what this looks like. A lot of the old games used to use these screw heads. That's the one I used. So I have a set which has all different sizes. Always nice to have these handy if you're going to be opening up old games, because there are some triangular screw heads you'll find. And you definitely don't want to try to open them with a flathead screwdriver. You might strip it, or you might actually scratch that plastic up. That's how that opened up in the back. So now that this is ready to go, let's look at the functions on this. There's not much to talk about. We have the controller stick. You have your up, down, left, and right options. Then you have your power on and off. That's just a little red sticker on the slider that makes it look like it's powering on, which is not a red light or anything. And then you have your start button, which is the press down button. And that's pretty much it. You got your AC adapter outlet and nothing else besides the battery compartment. So let's throw some batteries in and let's play some Packri Monster. All right, I think we're ready to go here. The batteries are in. The camera's positioned just where I want it. Hopefully that's going to give you a good viewing of what this will look like when it's turned on. But before I turn it on, let me just give you some quick measurements of this actual play area. And that measures at 3 3/4 wide by about 1 3/4 tall. So it's not large, but it's, you know, it's a handheld game, and the maze isn't that big anyway, so it fits. Speaking about fits, in the palm of your hand, this would measure at 8 1/4 wide by about 4, actually, yeah, about 4 inches deep. So you can hold it in your palm of your hands pretty good. And it's about, I think it's a little bit over 1 inch tall. Let's see here. Yeah, 1 1/4 inch tall. It's a good size handheld. It's not too small, not too big. Once I turn this on, it'll go right into a demo mode, which is pretty nice because you get an idea how the game plays and you hear all the sounds that you'll encounter in the game. So that's a good thing. A lot of games, like the last one I just did a video on, gives you a demo mode option, but this doesn't give you a chance of that. You just get right into it, but you can bypass that by hitting the start button and get right into the game itself. So just like in the Pac-Man game, this one here, you control your Packri monster to gobble up all the food that's in the maze here, while you try to avoid getting eaten by the bogies. And I guess you could pronounce that as boogies, but I'll stick with pronouncing it as bogies for this video. So there are 3 bogies in this game, whereas Pac-Man has 4 ghosts. You do start the game with only 1 bogey to deal with, and then after that level, you get 2 bogies, and then after that one, it becomes all 3, and you'll see it gets harder and harder, it says, as the games progress, to become faster, and it's harder to avoid because This isn't that large of a play area. You do have some cool features though on here. There is a warp tunnel. You can see it says warp, and that's on the bottom here. You can cross over on the other side by going through it. You can get stuck in here too. So if you go through the warp tunnel and then you go ahead and press up or down while you're in it, it'll stop and you won't see your stuff on the actual display. But that doesn't mean you can't get eaten up by one of the bogeys, because you can still get caught inside the tunnel by one of them. Now here's a quick rundown on how scoring is calculated. You get 2 points for each of those little food dots that you get on this play area. And if you eat the power food, which there are 2 only in this game, where Pac-Man there are 4, if you eat those power foods, you get 5 points. And then if you eat a bogey, the first one's worth 10 points. But if you eat a second bogey from that same power food, that one's going to be worth 20 points. And then if you get to the third bogey with that same power food, that one's going to be worth 30 points. The max score that you can get on here is 999. So the challenge would be to flip it by getting over 999 points, then it goes back to 0 again. We'll see how hard it is to get points in this game. That's pretty much it. I do have to say I like this little display of action. It shows you how the joystick controller goes 4-directional. I don't think I needed to know that. But anyways, that's all there is. So let's turn this thing on. There's no skill levels to choose from. There's no muting of the sound. Let's see how this demo works, if it does work. All right, well, that's cool. You can see your Packri monster there, and then you can see the bogey chasing. The score is not going to be calculating on here, but you can at least see what its objectives are to get the food and not get eaten by that bogey. Now, there's only 1 on this level, because after you finish it, like I said, the second level you'd get 2, and then the third level and every one after that you'll get 3. All right, let's begin. I'm going to hit start, and it's going to start the game right away. And there's my 2 extra Packri monsters I can have after my first one is gone. So let's see here. I only have 1 bogey to deal with, so controls seem pretty good. It's 4-directional, so I don't have to worry about diagonals. So I only have 2 power foods. I'm going to make each one of them count. Let's see the warp tunnel. All right, yeah, that's the tunnel. So I hit down. Yep, you can hide in there, which I don't think it's going to trick the bogey. They're going to come after me, so let's get out of there. Let's end this level. There's also an intermission after 2 levels are completed, so let's get a glance at that. I want to see how that looks. Well, that one was not ready to be eaten. All right, let's see the intermission. Oh, there it is. Just like Pac-Man. And he gets chased back. Here comes the third level. Now we have 3 bogeys to deal with. And again, a small maze area, which makes it difficult to hide and try to maneuver. I have 266 points. When it's flashing like that, that means it's going to change back. So that's what that indicator is. All right, here we go again. So far, so good. Not too bad. Another little intermission there, pretty neat. Pretty much the same as the first one. Well, they are definitely faster. Wow. Oh, I got caught. I'm going to get right up to that power food and start eating these things. Oh, they're tricky. Oh, wow. Almost got me at that warp tunnel. All right, 760. I'm counting. This is good. This must be beginner's luck. Wow. All right, got me. I'm going right to that power food because this is going to get tough. Well, that was so fast. Well, that was pretty cool. Very challenging. I got to 892. And this was my first try ever. I've never played this game before, so that was a good score for the first time. Or at least that's what I think it's a good score, because I wanted to get 999 and flip it. Okay, so now we're back to the demo. And I believe if I just press start, it'll just restart the game again. So this is Packri Monster, a clone of Pac-Man from Bandai Electronics from 1981. Let me know what you all think of this game. This is one I think is worth having in your collection. It's not too expensive to acquire. It's very simple, as you can see, the controls. And it is challenging. It's quick and fast. I mean, look how quick that game was. And I have a pretty good score for a quick, what is it, I don't know, maybe we'll say it was maybe like 5 minutes of playtime. And if you're playing with a friend, you can easily turn it over and see if they can beat your score without having to wait too long to go between one another. The game isn't that bad. It'd be nice to see more than just the bogeys going faster as you progress through the levels. Maybe, I don't know, maybe see some fruits or something else on the play field to go after for more points. Or maybe even another warp tunnel. But then again, look how small that play area was. That's why I wanted to give you a measurement to show you. It's not that large. I hope you enjoyed this video. I appreciate your time for checking this out. Comment down below. Let me know your thoughts. And until next time, remember, keep that gaming passion from the past alive by living it today. Take care, everyone.